unsung hero. Welcome to the stage, the Eat Sleep Code Show. Syntax tight, our semicolons in a row. With the AI beats and the database flow. Grab your gear, hit compile and let's go. We're breaking walls in our virtual chateau. With every line we write, our universe will grow. Welcome to the grid where the brave dare to code. Eat, sleep, code, let the systems overload. Sending signals in the neon afterglow.
It's the best AI generated intro that you could ask for, John.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. That's awesome.
It's the glow stick waving party music that gets
Hey,
you out of
don't
your
tempt me.
seat to
Do
listen
not tempt
to
me.
two
Yep.
old guys chat about tech news and AI and other things. How are you doing today, John?
I'm great. Great. Yes. We just launched our new homepage. It just went up just a few minutes ago. So, yeah.
Get that up on
Yeah, that was
screen.
a lot of work. Octopus.com. So, yeah. It's nice and shiny. So, when you vacuum your room after a while or clean up the cobwebs and stuff, that's kind of what we did. So, octopus.com's got a new webpage, which is fun. So,
Getting it keyed into the browser here. It wasn't a bad looking page before, so
no. It's a lot different now. So yeah, got all the bells and whistles. So just in time for Christmas. It's a Christmas miracle. So there you go.
there we go. Got the camera fixed there too. All right. Continuous delivery at any scale. Any scale, John? Any scale? Do you really mean
Bring
any?
it on. Yes, of course. Yes,
Right.
absolutely. So yeah,
It looks good. Is it picking up dark theme from my OS, or is this
no, we've just decided to go with this to start, and who knows, maybe we'll go
okay.
Kind of like serving up turkey. We'll give you an offering of white and dark meat. So who knows at some point. Yeah.
Got some nice little animations in there. Point
Yeah.
me right towards the important bits. It looks great. I love it.
Nice.
Good stuff, man.
Thanks. Yeah, it just launched. So there you go. Make it your home screen, if not a bookmark.
And I've got to fix my
Wrong with you.
screen. There we go. It's part of my screen I can't see, and it's the part that has the navigation widget on it that I need to click on. So
there you go.
We'll kick things off with a little bit of C# Advent. I think we talked about it before, but we're going to talk about it again. We'll just gloss over some of the headlines just to kind of give a shout out to folks that are taking part in the C# Advent calendars. This is a calendar that Matt Groves runs, and he collects authors and blog posts from throughout the C# community for 25 days through December. And with that, you get 50 articles that are free to read, that are C# focused from the community. You can find them all here at csadvent.christmas.
Nice.
And we've got all kinds of different things in here. There's been some AI posts, hot takes on .NET Core and why it's not cool to call it .NET Core anymore.
No.
Let's see. Because there's no such thing as .NET Core.
But it's
just .NET now.
Remove the from Facebook. It's like just .NET. Come on, that's what everyone calls
Unless you're talking about ASP.NET, then that's ASP.NET Core. But .NET is not .NET Core. That makes sense. Which it doesn't.
.NET. It's simpler. It's cleaner.
C# 13 features, what's new and how to use it. Simple voice controlled AI assistant in C#. Like I said, there's all kinds of nice stuff in here. AI in here, coding puzzles, entity framework with Couchbase, more C# tips, Christmas Mad Lib using C# and Scepter console. Let's see. There was one in here if I can find it. It is a Jake. Here it is. A Signal R real-time Santa's Workshop tracker with .NET 9.
Wow.
Gotta love the emoji use in here too, by the way.
Yes, it's good.
So this is a real-time tracker to keep track of Santa's Workshop. It's a nice like code kata type of project that you can get build to learn about Signal R. So there's all kinds of fun stuff in here. And if you see Claim This Spot, there's a couple folks that couldn't get their article posted in time. So if you have something and you're part of the C# community, jump on Claim That Spot. Just click on the Claim the Spot button, follow through the forums, and get your blog posted as part of the C# Advent calendar. And there's only really a couple days left, John. Can you believe that?
Yep. Another Christmas miracle if you can put your article in there.
Yeah. I have mine published. I am good for the year. Like this is usually my final blog post of the year goes to the C# Advent calendar. So I've written about all sorts of fun stuff, accessibility, AI this year, AI in the browser. Did we talk about that I don't think we talked about it on a previous show.
Nuts and gum together at last.
Well, this one, I posted mine, let's see, I think it's on the 11th. Here we go. And you can process your AI large language model directly in the browser now. So if you don't want to go out to a service and pay money or expose data or whatever, just download the whole large language model into the browser, John. Why not? Just put it right in there.
Because
put
reasons.
It in the browser
and
run it right there. And if you scroll through this nice big long article, I talk about how it's all done. You can actually run this in the browser. Here, we'll put this up on a bigger screen so we can see it better. You can run
the sandbox that the browser provides for JavaScript. It just got a whole lot bigger.
Here we go. And it's downloading the Ollama large language model right here, and we could say, what do you want to ask it?
Yeah, you thought your spas were big before.
Exactly. It's so when I was building this, I should have put this in the article. If you look in the code here, if I go, I think it's in my services here, you'll see that it's pulling in the Llama 3.2 1B, which is like a tiny compact large language model. And it's like, I want to say it's like 60 something gigabytes or whatever. Well, the first time I did this, I used like whatever was in the example I was following, and I shipped it off to a coworker, and I was like, "What do you think of this?" And he's like, "It's great, but did you realize you just downloaded like 700 gigs into my browser?" And I was like, "No, I didn't."
Yes,
I should probably
I thought
use a smaller one.
Yeah, I created a website, web page called web page obesity. I used to call it, and it tracked over time. I used Kendo UI to chart like the trends of pages. The average page was so many images, so many CSS files, so many HTML documents, and I used to call images and video the high fructose corn syrup of the internet. That is no longer the case. LLMs are now the high fructose corn syrup. It's that plus a combination of other things, LLMs. So downloading this stuff to your browser is going to greatly blow out the sandbox. So there you go.
It did not find that in its training, so it couldn't tell me how big it was, but it did recognize the model itself. But you can have these chats now offline. Like this would work completely offline without, you could do this as like a spa type of progressive web app, whatever you want, and works right on device.
I don't know. I think it's better
right on device.
Just do request response. Come on, what's wrong with that? Send it back to the big iron.
Request response. Let's see. What is that? Let's ask it.
It's just HTTP request response. Just don't worry about putting the whole model in the browser.
What
This
is
is like Exhibit. You know
HTTP?
the Exhibit meme. Hey, yo, dog. We put the LLM in your browser so you can whatever when you're whenevering, sort of thing. So
This is one of the to-do list type of things that you
yeah, of
just have to
course. Yeah, of
do
course.
with your browser in large language models. You just have to do it.
You were so
And
preoccupied of whether you could. You didn't stop to think whether you should.
why?
Yes.
I mean, there are reasons why, right? I mean, in the future, we were having this discussion this morning, my wife and I, not large language models, but the future. But if you could, imagine that now 60 gigs, that's like, oh, that's a lot. But,
Right.
pretty
Yeah.
soon that won't
Yeah.
be. And I have a device that will share. I have a device that will share that will make this a little bit more palatable as well. But yeah, so my wife was plugging in all of our USB trash cans today to charge them. Not kidding. I wish I was kidding. And I was walking around behind her making jokes about
Why?
I was doing
Okay, stop. Why do you
the
have
night.
USB powered trash cans?
She bought them. I don't know.
That
They're
doesn't answer my
like
question.
they automatically like lift their lids when you
Oh,
like
okay.
they're supposed to be sanitary, but then she bought them and realized she got to charge them every 2 weeks.
Like that meme I saw recently where you see, the guy holding the gun up to his toaster when it becomes self-aware. He's crying. It's like,
I was walking around narrating behind her as she was trying to do her important chores of the day. And so she's like plugging in the trash cans. And I was like, in the future, the wife
Yes.
charges the electronic trash cans.
Yes.
All
Oh,
right.
goodness.
Let's get on to something a little more serious. Visual Studio Code, November. November?
Yes. Well, they always do it this way. So they ship and then it's usually the previous
Okay.
month, obviously. But
okay. Gotcha.
Yeah. So in addition to that, we're not talking about the elephant in the room, which is now GitHub Copilot is now free, quote unquote, the limited version of it. We should probably talk about that as well. Well, yeah, they just blogged about this recently. So that you can now get Copilot for free in VS Code. That's the big announcement around VS Code. GitHub just announced this yesterday or 2 days ago. But yeah, if you're looking for a new version of VS Code, there's lots of stuff that's new in here. Obviously, not relevant to obviously not as important as obviously Copilot being free, but lots of great stuff to be had. So
yeah, I saw this across the Twitters, and there was a lot of hot takes, of course, on why they did it. I have no idea why they did free tier. Maybe to be competitive. That's what folks were saying online. I guess everyone is out there.
Everyone in the AI space is trying to build a moat. Okay, so if you're looking at a product from a product perspective and from an audience perspective, you're trying to build a moat around your product so that you can start protecting your product basically. And so I would imagine here by offering it for free, they're basically making part of that, gravitating people towards VS Code more and more, making it a more feature-rich IDE by offering for free.
And there are other free AI-powered editors out there, so there is some competition. But I did notice when you go to the like price comparison, because it's not like just 100% free all you can eat. It's like a free tier, and then the upper tier I think used to be $20 a month, and it's been bumped down to 10. So it looks like $12
Aussie or something like that.
Yeah, it got a price reduction as well, so that's always good for the consumer. Competition is good.
Yes.
Let's see. We got accessibility features. Let's see, workbench improvements as well. Better extension search, downloads. Lets you know how much disk space they're using.
Yes.
So
these are minor updates, but just to let folks know, there's always updates coming down the pipe, which is great. Obviously, the Copilot announcement was the big one, of course, which kind of trumped this one.
I like the testing coverage stuff. Inline message failures. I like it. I do a lot of testing, especially recently. I'm working on some really hard stuff, and there's no way to like parse the entire like inner workings of what I'm working on. Like you have to have unit tests for this thing to make any sort of sense. So
Sure, you're downloading. Who's going to unit test those LLMs? Come on.
that's what I'm
Those are
doing.
those are black boxes anyway.
It is, and I had to break some tests around that black box to try to figure out what the heck's going on in there. Let's see. Announcing the .NET Community Toolkit 8.4 partial property support for MVVM, new analyzers and more.
Yes.
That's a mouthful. Holy cow.
Yeah, I know. So the .NET Community Toolkit has been around for quite a while. They're
Mhm.
iterating on this quite a lot, which is great. It basically supplements what's available in .NET Core / .NET / whatever we're going to call it. At this point. So anyway, yeah. So some new capabilities there. If you're looking for libraries that will help you from a very high level perspective around programming, etc., relative to this, it's definitely there. So lots of features in here. Partial property support for MVVM, model view model. There's some new analyzers as well that are built into this, which is great. Analyzers, of course, are ones that run in the context of the MVVM toolkit itself, and so there's capabilities that will pick off of the attributes that you apply to code, things like observable properties, etc. So those are obviously awesome. Lots of other changes and improvements they've added to this as well. You can download it. It's available up on GitHub. There's a repo you can check out. But if you're at all curious, you can check it out. The .NET Community Toolkit 8.4 now available.
I take for granted this observable property. I know what it is, and we do not have to deal with it in Blazorland because it's part of the life cycle of the UI. But if you're doing any non-Blazor like UI stuff, so Maui, WPF, all of the above,
Yep.
Observables are very time consuming to wire up if you don't have something like this. And this is like a decorator that makes a property observable just by attributing it instead of having to write up all that boilerplate code. So that's a cool
Well, if you're
add.
gonna do view models, you need this. So
yeah, like MVVM is still alive and kicking. It, like I said, it's baked into Blazor, so you don't have to really think about it.
Yeah, whatever.
So it's nice, but it's nice to have the community toolkit to bring that support in, so you don't have to worry about it anymore. New
Awesome.
era of slop security reports for open source.
Yeah, so this is a blog post that I think I picked up on here. It's from Seth Larson, who's basically saying that all these AI contributions that are coming in for these PRs that are coming in for AR critical reports that are built by AI are actually junk, and a lot of people are. Basically, what's happening is a lot of people are submitting AI or LLM generated PRs, and he's basically of the opinion of a lot of this stuff is just slop. Ignore it. It's not. They're not really helping. Please be aware if you're a maintainer of an open source repo, etc. Please feel free to reject these things. It is also a bit of an FYI to the reporting community. So typically in the security community, you get a lot of classic sort of, you get white hats and black hats. You get folks who are the reporters. You get the obviously the repo admins, etc. His advice is try not to use AI or LLMs for detecting quote unquote vulnerabilities. And the reason why is because obviously those systems cannot really understand code, and that is true. And finding security vulnerabilities requires both understanding code as well as understanding human level concepts like intent, common usage, and context. So yeah, there's some advice there. Yeah, he's also saying, make sure you don't run any experiments on open source volunteers. They acknowledge that this is a challenge. Don't submit reports that have not been reviewed by a human, and don't spam projects. So this is advice to folks who are, they're good natured and good intent for contributing these things. But yeah, he's saying that we're entering a new era of slop security reports.
I'm not sure I understand how AI can't detect vulnerabilities, so why you shouldn't use it.
Well, it doesn't look, it doesn't do a perfect job. Everyone knows that. That's why tools always say make sure to verify your results before proceeding. And code is definitely up with that. It doesn't understand anything. It's just doing pattern matching. Like it's like the strawberry problem, right? There's like it doesn't understand intuitively what's happening here. So
no, but I've seen it do some pretty compelling things.
that's because of the model that it was based on.
Yeah, it has to be pointed in the right direction. Otherwise, you get
Yes.
garbage out. But
Yes,
if
and this
you
is the point.
utilize it correctly, it could be a tool to leverage. Speaking of AI, John, that's like all of my stories now.
Nice.
Google has a brand new AI coding assistant called Jules. Bigger, faster, stronger. They all claim that nowadays.
Yes.
I haven't tried this out yet myself, but I thought I'd bring up the fact that everybody's iterating. Like there's new models everywhere. Meta dropped a new one a couple weeks back. Now Google's dropping theirs. Competition is fierce, and some of the tools that are out there allow you to change between the models, and that's pretty nice as well. So you can try these out in different scenarios. But if you've tried any of these, let me know what you think about Google's Jules programming AI.
Who do you think's a leader is in this space at the moment?
A leader?
Yeah.
Well, it's hard. It's hard to say. I know Anthropic's
I would say Meta
done really well.
I'd say Microsoft on the tooling front. On the model front, I would say Meta. And then the new battleground from what I'm seeing is agents. That's really being fleshed out right now.
Yeah. I've seen some good stuff out of Claude as well. Seen a lot of
Yes.
people, big fans of that. I came across this tool that I thought I'd bring up. This is very topical with the conversation we're having. This is called Pieces, and it's kind of like a new take on snippets, where this is like a snippet manager on AI plus lots of other stuff. So it's like a plug-in ecosystem. So it like plugs into your IDEs, plugs into your browser. There's a desktop app, and then there's some AI stuff underneath that helps you not only like generate snippets, but also like organize and search. So say you're on you're in Visual Studio or something, you're writing some code, you get stuck, you go out to the web, you find a resource, and there's a plugin in your browser, and you're like, okay, I'm going to borrow that piece of code. You can copy it into your pieces and then paste it back into Visual Studio, and then the AI will index that. And then you could also use the AI to iterate on it to make it better, fix bugs with it, whatever. And it's going to keep track of all that for you. So it's kind of like this catch-all for everything snippet related. And it's one of those that lets you kind of like choose which AI you want to interact with as well. So you just plug in, your service that you want to use, and then it does the advanced, vector searching and organization and code generation stuff with all of your snippets. So if you want to check that out, is pieces.app. You can go give that a look.
Analogous to a lot of the writing tools that are out there. A good example of this is Grammarly or Hemingway app. These are specialized prompts or specialized models that are oriented towards prompts. And similar sort of idea, I think, and then in addition to that, obviously indexing and things like that. So that's interesting.
Yeah, it's got quite a bit of features to it. So at first I was kind of like, snippets kind of feel dead to me. Like the AI is the new snippet generation tool, if anything. And I was kind of confused as to where this fits in the ecosystem. But I watched a couple videos online to kind of catch me up on what exactly it does. So then just like write it off as snippets are dead. And it was actually kind of cool. Like the plugin for the browser has like a copy button like built into the plugin. So you can just like hit the button and then it's dumped into your
what could go wrong?
Yeah. No, it's not dumped into your app, but it's dumped into your Pieces app where you can index it and everything without having to like, it takes that manual like copy from here, paste to here, save it over here, paste it again. It takes a lot of that workflow out, so you don't have to keep like it's kind of like a global clipboard of snippets that interacts with all of your your browser, your dev tools in the browser, your dev tools not in the browser. It's nice. Question from chat from Josh Miller. How do you feel about context switching to a different AI about UI pattern? Not quite sure what the question is there.
I would imagine
About
context
UI
switching to a different
pattern?
model. So that's probably what the question, because you have to the model has no context of what you asked previously.
Yeah.
So it's like an alt tab when you switch a model,
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Hmm.
Let's see. This is more about the Google Gemini, but we probably both copied a link or pasted it in, or I got doubles of that one. So we'll move ahead with this one. NVIDIA unveils its most affordable generative AI supercomputer. So, John, do you want a dev box that does nothing but AI for $250?
I already have that.
Because you can have one.
Yeah, but I already have that in a sense.
This is pretty fast and dedicated. I guess this is targeted at like hobbyists that are working on robotics and things like that. So maybe you have a thing that you don't want like a full-fledged like PC sitting on top of or being plugged into.
It's just an NPU card, isn't it not?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
It's a system on a module.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a completely an entirely feature complete system.
It is NVIDIA, and I know NVIDIA's history with this graphics card. They just end up getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So I could easily see the same route following this. So you got the 20, what is it? The 2080, the 3080, the 4080. We're up to the 8080, something like that. So I can easily see this ballooning as well.
Yeah, so this is a dev kit that you get for $249. It's kind of like the Raspberry Pi of AI. Like you could plug your ribbon cable in, attach it to your robotics. It's got LAN ports, etc. And you don't have to have
there.
Yeah, you got all the IO with none of the monitor / all power supply, all of that.
It's the new bring your own keyboard and mouse. This is like bring your own model.
Yeah. I mean, this is some powerful stuff, especially if you're like maybe you're coming from like the manufacturing side of stuff, and PLCs used to be like the huge driver of industry.
Yep.
Now you could like hook an AI board to it and like extend the capabilities right there on the spot.
Yeah. I'll give you a perfect example, a scenario that I'm looking into. So I'm looking at getting solar put on my house and a battery as well. And I've been looking at the Tesla Powerwall, and I've also been looking at a company called SIG Energy. They're known as Point Guard in the US. And they have ChatGPT built into their battery unit. The gateway, I believe, has ChatGPT built in. It wouldn't surprise me if they have an NPU like this sitting somewhere in that gateway.
Yeah. I mean, you could essentially like plug something like this into it, and then you'd have to have, of course, special software on it to understand all of the data inputs and outputs and things. But you could essentially, ask it like, "What is my solar output for this week?" And it would, you could use natural language to do that. You could also do things like predictive analytics, and you could have a custom model on here that could predict like what your power is.
It does. That's exactly.
So you could say, you could hook it to your home assistant stuff and say to it, what's my power going to, consumption and energy creation going to be for the next 2 weeks or whatever.
Yeah.
And it could do that for you. So that'd be a really handy feature. And then finally, John, I've got I don't have a Can It Play Doom, but this is a fun one. And let me see if I can get it full browser before there we go. I'm going to roll the Can It Play Doom anyway, because I imagine you could probably make it play Doom. So let's see if it's valid of a Can It Play Doom. Can it play Doom? I can't.
What are we doing?
These are smart insoles.
No. What are we doing?
I don't know why.
Why?
I don't know why. But
look how thick they are.
These are smart insoles.
Yeah.
And the developer that's working on these smart insoles has a fascinating Twitter account with all of these interesting examples of reading data off of the insole itself. And like there was one where he was making like a game out of it.
App that you're seeing right here was made.
There we go.
Blueprints. The plugin itself.
So if you want to have an interactive game with your, all I can say, John, is if you don't like this, you have no soul.
No, I don't like this, and I would like to think I have a soul. I don't know. I can see
a pun there.
I can see this being good for obviously athletes wanting to train and things like that. So yeah, whatever. Yeah. I mean, I do like the form factor in one case where you can just slip it in, and now your shoes are smart. You know.
I have to point this out. He did not just do that. Wait. Look at this menu. Tappy Bird. Like Flappy Bird. Tappy Bird.
Yeah.
I love it. I like the creative thinking here, though. It's like you could have like boring demos with your insoles that have sensors, right? But this person has gone through the effort of like hooking this to Unity to like power a game. And now we've got Tappy Bird. It's literally Flappy Bird in 3D being controlled by an insole. I love it. This is great stuff. John. So it probably could play Doom. That's what I'm saying. You could hook this up if this person is watching. I want to see Doom being controlled by footwear. That's the new Doom frontier that hasn't been done yet, right?
I don't know if you're trying to make me angry or not. You know those two guys. There's a meme right now where these two guys are looking at each other, and he's like, "If water is wet." Then he makes a joke, and then the other guy just gets upset with him. I feel like that's you and me right now. You know, like you're trying to intentionally make me upset, and I'm not going to take the bait, Ed. I'm not going to take the bait. All right, you can present as many stupid ideas as you want. Flappy Bird with insoles. Can it play Doom on birth control measuring devices? You've hit me with everything. All right, and I'm just putting my foot down, literally and figuratively.
And it's a great pun too. So there's that. So yeah, if you want to check those out, it's at Brilliant Soul on Twitter. It's good stuff, man. I like it.
It is. It's good. It's rich. The puns are oozing. So yes.
Gotta find the the fun stuff on the internet, to the tech stuff that really.
It's the holiday season.
In the future, your insoles will play video games while you charge your electronic trash compactor.
The aliens are they're gonna like scoop through like Wall-E. They're gonna scoop through all our garbage when they discover this planet 100 million years from now. They're gonna be like, "What the heck were they doing?" You know?
Yeah. Well, we remodeled our kitchen, and like the first hour of remodeling our kitchen was waiting for more updates on the stove, the microwave, the dishwasher, and the fridge. In the future.
In the future.
This is
downloading that LLM. It's got to run it on your your blender that can play the song Margarita, you know?
I mean, it wouldn't hurt, like, if we could just talk to our appliances, like, microwave. You know,
Those
do
chips
your
are
thing.
not fast. Those chips are super slow. I'm telling you. Have you ever pulled a board out of one of those? They look like they're from the 80s. So
Oh, the microwaves and stuff?
yeah. They're just like
Oh, yeah.
it's like I could have put that together back when I was in CS, computer science back in the 90s. So
But NVIDIA has a board for $250, Sean. You just put that in your microwave, and then you can just
wait for
talk your
I'm waiting for my
microwave.
appliances to just like grow feet and just walk out, you know, be like, you know, stage a revolt, you know.
Had enough. All right, folks. We any predictions for 2025, John?
I think I want to see the device from Rick and Morty where it goes, "What is my purpose?" Past butter. That's the device I want to see, but I want it built on AI. I want that board from NVIDIA built into it, and just having it say, "Oh my god," you know. So
I think Octopus would expense one if you really wanted to build that. I think your manager would be all for it. I see more natural language interface like that I think is going to be the big deal. That's the really cool stuff. I showed a demo last time we were on the show. Something that I'm working with, so you can talk to the UI because we specialize in UI components. So it's like it's an area that we're having to either deal with or somebody else is going to do it, right?
yeah.
But talking to your websites and your interfaces and just working with the technology we already have, but putting a natural language interface in between the user and what you have to make it more intuitive, so you can not only just like talk to it without having to be taught where all the buttons, the widgets, the dials, everything is at, but you could do it in any language, so you can hand it to any user with any accessibility needs, requirements, languages. All the barriers break down, and you can just say, "Hey, thing, I need to get this done," and it starts working. Like, I think that's where we need to head.
All right.
All right, folks. We will see you back in 2025, and yeah, I'm gonna be off. I'm gonna be off of out of the office, so we will be back on the 3rd, or no, the 2nd. Thursday the 2nd, maybe the 9th. We'll have to see, because there's prep required. I don't know if I'm going to come back the same day and prep and have a show ready, but we'll try. So the 2nd or the 9th, we'll figure that out. But we will be back next year with the same antics, same place, same time,
same ignorant opinions,
same angry old men.
I like the way I think. I like the way I think a lot.
Me too. All right, John. I hope you and everybody watching has a fantastic holiday, New Year, and we'll see you soon.
All right.